everybody, my name is Jack, and today I'm reviewing the Lionel O-Gauge Chicago and Northwestern Flyer. Now, it might not be called that. It probably said something else on the box, and I'll check it soon. But right here, I guess it could be freight set, but here it is. I'll check it soon, like online or something, but here it is. It comes with the engine, the tender, a Chicago and Northwestern caboose, Chicago and Northwestern 2-bay hopper, and it's a coal hopper, not a covered hopper, and a Chicago and Northwestern route of the 400 Streamliners boxcar. If you don't know what the route of the 400 Streamliners is, or what the 400 Streamliners were, they were Chicago and Northwestern diesels numbered in the 400s, so that they went 400 miles in 400 minutes, so probably 60 miles per hour or so the whole way. So not very fast, but it got the job done. Anyways, it also comes with the instruction manual, of course. And this is how big it is compared to the engine. These model trains aren't that big. And some smoke fluid, because it smokes, of course. It's a steam engine, so why not? And it also comes with a replacement LED light bulb. Yes, it has an LED. And that's really good, because then it lasts longer, and it has a capacitor in it, so it doesn't get flickering over a dead spot. So there's the whole set. The whole problem with this set is, for me though, the engine is an exact copy of the Pennsylvania Flyer. There's them side by side. They have the same wheel arrangement even, except for the front trucks. This one is a 242 Columbia type, but this is a 442 Atlantic type. But that's easy to change because it's a separately applied thing. And I think they ran low on money for creating new engines, so to save money, they decided to use the old mold for the Flyer trains. It even has the same Lionel thing and the same bell. It's just different paintwork. And of course, this is a Lionchief engine instead of conventional, and it has a different tender on this one, of course, and engineer and fireman figures, hand painted, by the way. So let's get straight into the engine. So here on the side of the engine, almost nothing is different from the Pennsylvania Flyer set. Except the different tender, of course, and the different set of cars slightly because of the coal hopper, and the caboose has a light in it. But other than that, there's not much different from this set for the other one, so I'm not going to go into detail much because most of the details are on the Pennsylvania Flyer set review, link in the description. So here, the differences are here, this is a light silver instead of black like the rest of the train on the Pennsylvania Flyer. Its number is 1155, and here it's got a gold painted bell instead of a silver painted bell here. But it's the exact same bell, put the exact same way. And on the front here, the smoke box is silver like the firebox. Now here, on the front, here you can see, here there's the number 1155, and there's the LED headlight there. Same reflectors as the Pennsylvania Flyer. Here on the bottom, it has the same everything on the bottom, except here it has the Lionchief steam engine coupler, And over here in front it has a spring loaded so it doesn't come off the tracks as easy. Single axle front leading truck. Okay, there we go. The other side of the engine is completely the same too as the Pennsylvania Flyer, except of course the same differences on the other side. It doesn't have the bell on that side or anything. Same differences. And here on the back of the engine there is this special drawbar here. It's the Lionchief drawbar. It's a great idea too because see on the bottom of the tender here you can see there aren't any contact rollers. The reason why is it gets all its power from this drawbar and its information from the engine. So all the computer chips and everything is in the engine. So it's slightly heavier than the Pennsylvania Flyer or any of the old Flyer trains for that matter, even though it has less axles. Here on the back of the engine, also by the cab, here on the drawbar thing, by the way, there's the serial number for the engine, this engine, and there's some writing on the roof that talks about about stuff like the legal things of Lionel and stuff, and also there's a little note saying that you should only use how many drops of smoke fluid. For this it's 4 to 6, and you load that in the smokestack up here, just like with all other Lionel engines. And here, there's some nice hand-painted crew figures, nice and just sitting there. Same interior of the cab as the Pennsylvania Flyer and all the other Flyer trains. So not much different on the engine, but the tender is much different. So let's get straight to that. Here on the tender, you can see it's a very nice tender. The problem with it is, though, and this is with all Lionchief steamers and Lionchief Plus engines, and steamers too, it's not bad with the diesels, of course, because they don't have tenders. And with Lionchief Plus engines, it isn't as bad, but it's still pretty bad. That's because of this drawbar, but it means a better connection and better sound for the rail sounds and the speaker. But the problem is, though, there's no rollers on the tender, and that means it doesn't have a big electrical footprint, so it doesn't go over switches as easily, and it can lose power on switches easily. But anyways, here on the front there's some nice doors here, some tanks of some sort, maybe for oil cans, and a drop plate here. But it's not actually a drop plate. It doesn't drop down, and there's not one on the engine either. Same trucks as all other cars that Lionel makes, except on these trucks it has 3 springs, and that's the same with the rest of the set, all 3 springs. Here on the bottom also there's the speaker for the sound system, and here it says Lionel LLC, Lionel made in China. And if you didn't know, right now we're in the Lionel LLC part of Lionel. And then there was also Lionel Inc. and just Lionel. And here on the side it says Chicago and Northwestern. And Chicago and Northwestern System. And up here, it has a nice coal load too. The rivets go all the way up there, and there's so many rivets, and they just pop right out, and it looks really great. And on the top here, there's a nice detailed coal load with the curved tops, just like on the 1225's tender in real life. It's completely symmetrical in every single way, except, of course, the coal load and this ladder on the back. And right here, this says, it says 267W-6. Maybe that's the serial number on the tender, or it might be the class of the tender in real life. But here, there's some holes here that you could probably put lights in, but it doesn't have a backup light. It does have a headlight, but no backup lights. And no separately applied details on the top. There's no separately applied details anywhere on this. It's all molded just like this, except it doesn't have the trucks, but that's easy for the people to do at Lionel to build it, so these can be made way faster and cheaper, making them cheaper sets so you can start out better. That's why the starter sets have so much less detail than all the other Vision line and Legacy ones, because the Legacy engines from Lionel are usually at cheapest in about 550, and that's for a little NW2 diesel switcher. So what Lionel does is they kind of cut the detail a lot, and like on this they don't have steaming whistles and stuff, and the diesels don't smoke and stuff, but that's fine because it's a starter set. It's not supposed to have all those big fancy details anyway, because right when you're getting in it anyway, you don't care about detail as much anyway. And I don't really care about the detail as much too. So that's the good thing about starter sets, and that's why they don't have as much detail. Now on to the cars. Here on the 2-bay hopper car, it's extremely light. It's probably not even half a pound, and it's all made of plastic except the wheels. Nice looking couplers here. Both ends of the car are really detailed. Here there's the brake wheel, the nice operating couplers like on the back of the tender. By the way, on the front of the engine, there is no coupler there, not even a dummy scale coupler, so you won't be able to do any switching with it, just like the Pennsylvania Flyer. Here on the bottom, there's some doors. They don't open up or anything, but they look nice. Here, C&NW 135206, that's the number, and C&NW is Chicago and Northwestern. Over here, it says Chicago and Northwestern System, and on the bottom here, it says built 2017 by Lionel. So this is a relatively new set, and it's entirely symmetrical in every single way, except of course because of the brake wheel, it's not entirely. The brake wheels always wreck it. So here, now onto the boxcar. At the end, here it looks like you would put some sort of sign here in real life, but it says Lionel in there. And I think that's a nice little touch, putting Lionel in hidden places. Except for over here, of course, built 2017 by Lionel. But that's even on the super detailed Legacy premium set cars. They usually have that. Anyways. But here, Chicago and Northwestern, C&NW number 42. Route of the 400 Streamliners. And as I said earlier, the 400 Streamliners are diesels numbered 400, or in the 400s, to go 400 miles in 400 minutes. The doors open just like every Lionel boxcar, both of them. And there's nothing inside or anything. There's no load inside, but I don't think that's the case with any of them. Here, it's the same on this side. the other end is the same as the other end too, except the brake wheel. And the cars are really nice. And they look even better when they're going down the track. This track here I have them set on as my tubular track I got for Christmas, by the way. Now on to the caboose. So here's the caboose. It has a really nice design here. Built 2017 by Lionel. It says Chicago and Northwestern System here, the logo, and a nicely painted, stamped on, if you feel it, you can feel that it was stamped on really nice. It's the American flag, and here it looks like an eagle is on top, like some flagpoles. So that's a nice little touch there. You probably can't see it on camera, but it's there. It has a light inside. I think it's an LED light bulb, just like the engine. And it has the same design overall as the Pennsylvania Flyer caboose. So there's not much that's different, but it's still really nice. Here it says since 1848. I think that's when Chicago and Northwestern was founded. Here it says pulling together, and that is a really good motto, I think, because then they're pulling things. Here it's exactly the same, except of course the cupola is offset, so if you look at a picture of one side and the other side, it'll be different. On top here, also next to the cupola, there's the smokestack for a wood heater that would be inside in real life. And here on each end, this is what it's exactly the same balconies, I guess you would call them, and ladders and brake wheels, and separately applied too as the Pennsylvania Flyer. Here you can just lift up the roof. There's no screws or anything, I don't think, to take the roof off, but it's a lot harder to get the roof off than most cabooses. So you can replace the light. But you probably won't have to do that anytime soon after buying the set, unless it was broken or lost in it during shipping. But anyway, there's the set. So now, time to run it.
I look better. No, I look better. No, I look better. No, I look better. Hey, you two, what are you fighting about? He keeps saying he looks better, when really I look better. No, that's completely not true. Well, guess what? You guys look exactly the same. Also, it wouldn't have even mattered anyway, because I look better. Get him!
Okay, so before we run the engine, I want to show you the changes we've made to the floor layout here. Recently we put this inner loop in kind of just for storage. The old train is here. Also, here's the gondola now. We've got a lot more storage tracks over here. And now the main line goes further over here and goes straight here. We have the passenger cars parked over here. And that's all for the siding, because for a while it went crazy going all around to there. But now, time to run the train. Okay, so now time to plug the track in. Oh, wait. There. Now you can see the engine. Okay, so the loop of track I have it on right now isn't the amount of track that you'll be getting in the set. It's 2 more straight tracks, so 20 inches bigger. But here you'll get close to the same idea of how it is. So here's the remote. Chicago and Northwestern on it. Lionel logo down there. 1155. with the whistle or horn, crew announcements, and bell button. So here is the crew announcements.
Dispatcher here. Please hold for track orders. Over. Roger. Let me know when I can roll. Out. Dispatcher here. You're cleared onto the main.
And in a bit, I'll show you the one that happens when you've been sitting long enough. So now here's the whistle. And I think it's pretty nice. But for the bell, it's a whole different story. It sounds completely fake. So if you are looking for an engine that's good for doing good, really realistic takeoffs and pulling out of stations, if you're going to use the bell, then this is not good for that. Really bad. But anyways, here's the last crew announcement.
Dispatcher here. You are cleared outbound. Over. Thank you much. Cleared outbound. Out.
Okay, now let's get it moving.
Roger that. Dispatcher out. This is the dispatcher. The track is yours. You're all clear ahead. Dispatcher here. You're all clear ahead. Over. Roger that. Good time.
So there's the set there. And there's the terminal track, by the way. It's got at least with this one, it's got a nice dark blue cord. So there's the set. It looks really nice, especially when it's moving. You might not have been able to see the smoke here. Sometimes, especially with ours, it takes a second to really get going with the smoke or after you've been running it for a bit. But here it is. It's a real great set. I think it's about $210 at Menards. And you can, but after Christmas, of course, you can probably get it for a cheaper price, or before they start selling them a lot for Christmas. So here, the engine, tender, hopper car, red box car, and nice yellow caboose with the green roof and the remote. That's what it comes with. And enough track to make a 40 by 60 oval, or a 50 by 50 square, or a 40 by 40 circle. But you probably couldn't power a circle because it's a straight terminal track, and I don't think you can carry the wires to a different one. But there it is. I hope you liked the video. And if you have a set like this, which is very possible because they have just started putting them out, I think they were in last year's catalog, then tell me in the